Kennedy gets it to the point. Lucy holds it in. Lamanna, 2:30 to go. Into the middle, there's a shot. Blocked, rebound, scores! Lucas Lapalm puts the Panthers up 2. All right, welcome to another episode of Behind the Paw, and today's special guest is Lucas Lapalm from the Pickering Panthers. Lucas, appreciate being on the podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So we are in a situation right now in the OJHL, kind of similar to what we saw last year, where COVID-19 is starting to affect things. I don't think anyone wished that we were in the position that we are right now. But your thoughts on the shutdown and not being able to play hockey once again?
Shutdown kind of sucks. We were having a really good flow and missed the guys, hanging out with the guys in the locker room, but we really started to get things going, and then the lockdown happened and closed everything down. But I kind of view it as a really good reset for us, because now that we come back, we're going to mesh really well together, since we're all pretty well missing each other. And I really think that our team is going to mesh, and it's going to show on the ice.
Yeah, and you're going to have some new faces in the locker room as well when you come back. Has it been difficult for you to stay in shape during this time? Obviously, the Pickering Recreation Complex isn't open, but how have you been able to stay in shape? Because hopefully things are going to get back going on January 26th.
I'm lucky enough to have a bunch of home workout equipment and stuff like that. So I can go downstairs morning or nights, and I can do my own workouts that either my trainer's sending me or stuff that I have on top of my head. And I can stay in shape that way. And I can get on the ice playing pond hockey with some friends, and then just enjoying that to maybe create some bad habits. Hopefully not. But I can stay in shape that way. But other than that, it kind of sucks with the lockdown. Can't get any gyms.
All right, Lucas, I want to dig into your hockey career a little bit. Tell me what got you into playing hockey, and what's kept you playing hockey for this long?
It was my father. My father put me into hockey when I was really young, and he's been my coach. He was my coach growing up, and he developed this love for the game that I also have, and it just shows through me. Just doing the dirty little stuff is what he kind of did, and I kind of take pride in that, and that's where I find my love for the game. I enjoy getting to the little dirty areas, and then just those little battles are major wins to me, and it helps me love the game more and more.
So you grew up in Ontario in a relatively small town called Sterling. Not a hockey town name that you see every day in terms of a player's profile. Tell me about playing hockey in Sterling and growing up there.
Growing up in Sterling was pretty cool. It's a small community, so Friday nights everyone would come down, watch the good old hockey game, regardless if it was little kids or the bigger kids. In my eyes, when I played there, everyone loves it. Everyone knows everyone there. Really just getting started in hockey there. Just get started playing there, because you start now in a community where everyone loves everyone, and you get a real sense of passion for hockey. And with some alumni that we have there that played in the NHL with Rob Ray, Matt Cook, just the support that the town shows those guys, it creates a passion for the game.
Yeah, so you got some hockey alumni there. Did you have a hero growing up playing hockey there?
I look towards Andrew Shaw, who's a Belleville resident, and when I was a little younger, he was winning the NHL Cup with Stanley Cup with Chicago. So I looked towards him a lot, actually, because I really liked his game. I liked his grit.
Yeah, I think he got honored last night as well in Chicago. If he was back there with the Blackhawks where he won the Stanley Cup. So I want to talk about the Pickering Panthers as well. You guys are a team right now that, was rolling before the break. I know you had the loss to Stouffville right before that, but you're a team that's got even stronger since the lockdown has started happening. Do you guys see yourselves as favorites right now in the OJHL? Because on paper, you certainly have a fantastic team.
In my eyes, we can win this. I think we can win the league, and we can do some real damage in the playoffs and make it to RBC and have a really good chance at that.
With this lockdown right now, for some teams, they're having, a lot of their players are staying the same. So, they can probably carry over something that they were working on 3 weeks ago into January 26th. For you guys, you might be a little bit of a disadvantage because not only do you have the shutdown right now, but you also have a ton of new faces coming into the locker room.
Yeah.
Do you see that as something that's going to be a challenge for the team? Because obviously, you can have the good players on paper, but you've got to play well on the ice together as well.
I see it more as an opportunity, to be honest with you, Thomas. We had a really good group of guys before lockdown. We made some inquiries getting Robertson as well. And just to add one of those key players into our lineup, I think, honestly, you're going to see a better team than what you saw come before the lockdown.
All right. So you and your teammate, Ethan Lindsay, a couple of guys who spend a lot of time on the penalty kill together. That's kind of your specialty. And we talked about you two a little bit when Ethan Lindsay was on the podcast the first time. But do you want to say a few words about Ethan Lindsay and the chemistry that you two have formed on this team together?
When I came into Pickering, he was one of the first guys actually to text me and welcome me to the team. I played against him when I was in Quinny and he was in Barrie. So we knew each other from there. But you'd be surprised how down to earth and how humble this guy is. On the ice, you see him as this absolute warrior grit guy and just will do anything for his team. Off the ice, he is one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. He came down actually to my house here in Sterling, and he came down. We went hunting down here, and really nice to my family. His family is really good people. His younger brother, actually, he's always sitting there and he's giving us fist bumps as soon as we go on the ice or if we're going off the ice, win or loss, regardless. So he's always sitting there. His family comes from a really good group of people. And on the ice, you can just see how our games are similar. So, I mean, you can see that our chemistry builds just on the ice and then in the locker room, just joking around, having fun with each other. It shows off the ice as well. And I mean, the guy got me a t-shirt of our faces with Step Brothers on it. So that was my secret Santa gift. That was something special.
Yeah, and I think that kind of embodies your relationship together pretty nice, especially with you guys both on the ice together on that 2-man penalty kill unit. And I talked to Ethan Lindsay about this as well. I see his brother giving you fist bumps, and there's a lot of other kids that are looking at you as well. And we're hoping that we have those fans back in the stands. But I asked Ethan Lindsay this question as well. What does it mean to you to have people watching you on the ice? And there's no question that you're inspiring a couple of those little kids as well.
Yeah, when I growing up, I always would go and I'd watch the Belleville Bulls games. So when they were a team here in Belleville, so I would go watch those games, and I was one of those kids as well. And I'd always want a fist bump. I'd want the stick of the players. I'd do as much as I can, whatever I could, to even get a fist bump. So to see those players and be in the spot to give those fist bumps and talk to those kids that are coming to watch our games, it actually means the world to me. It's really humbling, and it's really cool to see everyone in the stands coming to watch our games. It's humbling, and completely I'm honored from it.
Yeah, and you guys do a fantastic job. It's really awesome to see that fist bump to that kid. It means so much. So that's awesome that you guys do that. I want to talk about as well you getting drafted. So you were eligible for the OHL priority selection. Didn't get selected your first time around, but you do get selected in the second round by the Peterborough Petes and the U18 draft. Can you tell me about that process a little bit and how that was for you?
Yeah, so in the priority selection, I didn't go, which it happens to most players and sucks. It's kind of heartbreaking. You work so hard at it, but I came back next year and I went up and I played in Peterborough under a really good coach and with a really good team. And I was lucky enough, since I was in Peterborough, to get watched, I think some days, by the Peterborough Petes. And I mean, I was lucky enough and blessed to be drafted to the Peterborough Petes in the second round of the U18. And I think it was really comes down to I was working harder every day in Peterborough. And then I think they saw some of that and then made the decision off that. But very happy and very blessed to be drafted.
I don't know if you've talked about this in the locker room at all, but I think that Dustin Hutton was also playing for the Peterborough Petes at the time, and he went through a very similar process as well, where he got selected in the U18 draft, just like you. Is that something that you guys talk about at all?
We haven't mentioned it. We both mentioned that like Peterborough, and we know some of the familiar faces there, but I don't think it's something that we really mentioned or talked about before. No.
Obviously you're still just 18. Believe it or not, one of the younger players on this team, because all the overager spots are filled out. Tell me about some of these new additions, what it's been like for you on the team playing with some of those older guys.
Playing with the older guys, it's a real learning experience. Like, just to see how they go about in the daily life of a junior hockey player, because we have guys that play in the OHL, very high level, tier 1, and we also have guys that have played tier 2, junior A, which is great level as well. And just to see how they go about things every single day, and it's honestly really cool to watch how they carry themselves in the locker room, on the ice, in the community. It really makes a difference, especially for some of the younger guys, if you call it. For me, like, since I'm 03-18, considerably, I've had like, I didn't play in my 16 year. I played in Peterborough my 16 year, and then and then COVID last year in Brockville. So I've this is considerably really my first year in junior hockey. So it's really cool to watch those guys and almost take after them and follow in their footsteps.
And you got a coach as well in Pickering who has some real hockey experience, like a guy who was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Rob Pearson. Is he a guy who helps gel the team together and things like that, especially when you have so many new additions?
Oh, absolutely. He's a former hockey player. He comes in and he treats you like one of the guys that he would if he was in the locker room. He's just a great guy all around, really good coach. So you can see, put together an amazing team for this year. He can form the team, absolutely, and he's showing us like the ropes, and he teaches us every day how to be better and how to move forward and succeed in this level. So it's really nice to have him, with his experience and his knowledge for the game.
I want to talk a little bit about your hockey aspirations, because as we mentioned, you are still just 18 years old. And unlike some of the other people we've had on this podcast who are in their overager season, their hockey careers are kind of coming short, right? There's not a lot you can go after your overager season. So what are your aspirations? Is something like the OHL something that you want to get to, or something higher than that?
For me, I want to get my schooling. I want to go and I want to get my school. Schooling is very important in my family. It's a family first in school. So I want to get my schooling through hockey. I've worked pretty hard at it. So I think I could get something possibly out of my schooling. So I could get something out of there, hopefully. But for my goal, it's to just really be the best I can at this level, and then move on to the next and be the best I can there.
All right, we got lights out in the background, and that was my last question as well. So we missed about like 1 minute. Appreciate you being on the podcast, Lucas, and it's awesome watching you play out there. I know you got one of the best work ethic on the team, and you're always giving 110%. So good luck with the rest of the season, and appreciate you being on.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Thanks for having me.